Okay, hello and welcome Twitch and YouTube. This may be a shorter stream than the last Path of Exile stream. The plan for this stream is I'm going to run Lab 1, the first lab on this character. I've done the basic stuff I need to swap over to the Hollow Palm Technique. I'm not actually going to do the first lab run on Hollow Palm. I'm just going to use the inventory swap to have both Hollow Palm and the bow build on the same character at the same time. The one gem I'm missing is I need to get a transfigured Frenzy, so Frenzy of Onslaught is a transfigured gem, which you actually get from labs. That's what I'm going to farm up. Probably won't get on the first run. Basically, I'm going to do one run with the bow to see how hard it is with the bow, and then I'm going to swap over and maybe run another one with Cyclone. Or if I get the Frenzy of Onslaught with Frenzy of Onslaught. Frenzy of Onslaught in theory should be higher single target damage, so for fighting the boss it'll be better. Whereas Cyclone's probably a little bit higher multi-target damage, because they can hit multiple people in the way we're building. And otherwise, the build is still resist capped, even with no weapons. Apparently, I wasn't using. Well, the quill bow doesn't have.
Before the gates of the Lord's labyrinth.
Quill rain doesn't have any resistance on it anyway, so it's not like removing that is lowering my defenses. And with the ability to still turn Purity Elements on, we should basically still be resist capped even post Kadava. So the build is basically just, at this point, just needs to run from point A to point B to do all this leveling. Doesn't really need to stop and look particular gear. It probably does want to look for some gear. Right, I'm going to be a little bit dependent on uniques for various resistances. And it would be nice to move all of them eventually, so they can get a better mix of stats. It'll be so, because some of the items that I've got on, like my hat, yeah, no dex on the item. Shoes, only 5 dex on the item, would like more than 5. And so on and so forth. I definitely don't have best in slot, but for where we are, I have what I need, I think, to level the build and take things on like Kadava. In theory, I think it has enough damage. The other reason I'm probably going to do the lab twice is to use the second lab as a test to see if it's done enough damage on the Cyclone yet to make the change.
Be singular of purpose. Finish this.
And yeah, with Arctic Armor on the build at the moment, the build is surprisingly tanky. That's what it's running into right now. Between Evasion and Arctic Armor, it's not much to worry about. And it'll keep that after it does the transition to Cyclone, so I'm not worried about the build being squishy or anything.
Withstand the siege.
Oh, that was close.
strike with fidelity.
This is a level 33 zone, in theory, and the character's still a little under level for that. It's only level 31. Which is one of the reasons I'm also doing this as the bow
Must be avenged.
instead of Cyclone, because I'm not yet high enough level to run Brisk Grab for the present health bonus to Dex. So simply one more level will boost the damage the Cyclone does by like 10%. So not necessarily rushing into a build that will get stronger just by leveling once.
You are inexhaustible. Pity the Emperor sits alone on his throne.
And not enough movement speed. I also haven't checked to see if I am resist capped with Brisk Grab on. I'm resist capped with my current armor on. I have not checked for the item I could not put on. Even though the plan is to swap to the item as soon as possible. Which I could technically swap to right now. But I'll finish the lab first before I do the item inventory swap.
Strike. An Emperor strikes without hesitation. To entertain doubt is to dance with death.
Does Brisk Grab any life on it? No. Because Brisk Grab doesn't have any life on it, that means it makes sense to come in here and say 50% when there's something on the armor. Current armor, I guess the regen is maybe considered life.
Slowness lends strength to one's enemies. Strike with fidelity. Prove yourself, Ascendant.
I suppose the version of Zaro I have today is not one with a massive slam, which would be a little bit more risky for the build to handle, because it's an evasion build. A bad roll on a slam could kill you.
Receive your sentence. Are you a martyr? By the goddess, what ambition! Time is not to be wasted.
Getting electrocuted by a Zaro on not to waste time. Oops. One of those traps hit hard. Yeah, as you can see, other than maybe being a little slow because I haven't really specced into maximizing toxic rain damage, with dealing with the Zaro, the build is, even without being specced into toxic rain, is doing decently well with toxic rain. Toxic rain is one of those skills that, at least if you got Quill Rain, which is fairly easy to self-farm up, just kind of casually handles most of the early acts. Oh, that's not what I want. Happens every once in a while. You the way I want to go? Yes. Okay. It's taking on Azaro for the last time in the first lab run. Then we'll try on the next run. Trying to do it with Cyclone using Hollow Palm Technique. One thing about is the final Azaro fight is on the first lab. You don't have any traps. When you're in higher level labs, you get traps in the boss room, the final boss room. So that can be one reason, if you got a build that doesn't really handle traps very well, to go explore the labyrinth a little bit more. Is one of the boons you can get is turn off all the traps in the boss room, the final boss room.
Rise to the occasion. Choose your path. Give no quarter.
As you can see, this is not... At no point have I really been, other than if I just let the Zara wail on me, have I been in real risk of dying. The bow portion of this build. But we'll see if that transfers over well to the Cyclone portion of the build. Cyclone, Frenzy of Onslaught. Still gotta get a Frenzy of Onslaught, so...
You are free.
There's a decent possibility I don't get it on this run. Those are weapons, we're not interested. Gotta get a different armor, so yeah, nothing there is interesting.
Before your Emperor, you are worthy. Before the Goddess of Justice, you are worthy.
Can you give me a transfer gem?
Receive our blessing.
Same color. Okay, so I'm gonna feed a frenzy in hopes I get the frenzy I want.
For this is the ending that we all deserve.
Didn't get any of the ones I wanted. Okay, well. Good thing I was planning on doing it multiple times. So which one I was gonna do? I think it's Pathfinder? Yeah, Pathfinder. So let's select Pathfinder.
There are venoms and virtues aplenty in the wilds, if you know where to look.
And that's the first lab. At least how I initially built the build up to this point, it's fully capable of doing that. We're now going to try doing it using Cyclone instead. We're going to try doing it in the good old-fashioned spin-to-wind form.
Ascend with precision.
Get presented with an opportunity, I can sacrifice that blink arrow in the attempt to get the Transfigured Gem. Now that I'm regenning flasks, I probably don't need 2 life flasks, I probably only need 1. Same with the, same with the Quicksilver. Probably swap over to like a Granite and something else. Granite and Quartz or something.
The weary traveler draws close to the end
That
of the
reminds
path.
me. Silver is capped. Close enough. Let's just turn on weird elements.
Some things that slumber should never be awoken.
And we spin! I don't think Azara appreciates my spinning. Well, that was much faster. Yeah, I think this build's ready to at least swap over to Cyclone, even if I can't get myself a Frenzy of Onslaught for single target damage. That was comfortable. That was real comfortable.
When the time comes to strike, an emperor strikes without hesitation. To enter down straight onto the ends.
yeah. Yeah, definitely liking Cyclone. This is definitely working for me. Yeah, neither of those I think are going to be useful for the build. So we'll leave them behind. Now I'm going to pick them up. Dash distance too big there.
The pursuit of power can be a grotesque affair.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Is that the way I want to go? Sure. Once again, that's not the way out that I want, like last time. Yeah, Hollow Palm Technique. Going off its lethality here.
Aspirant can afford to be promising. An emperor must keep those promises.
What do I want next in my tree? Yeah, probably start working towards getting spell damage going. I'm still gonna take that. What is movement speed?
The Empire awaits you with open jaws.
We got a Zaro here telling me that the Empire wants to eat me. Don't know how to feel about that.
Your destination.
And that was quick. It took the Toxic Rain build, or Toxic Rain portion of the build, 14 minutes to do with it. And this portion of the build did it in 10. Grab the belts, that might be useful, and the shoes. Anything else here is not useful for this build, and I'm not interested in grabbing low-level loot for other builds at the moment. Yeah, so by the looks of it, nothing that I want for this build yet as far as Transfigure Gems, so I need to come in here a few more times. But I won't do that on stream. I'll do that probably with one of the other builds. Yeah, definitely feeling that Cyclone's going to be a good idea. And obviously I'll need to still farm up that Frenzy of Onslaught, but that's the build. That's how the build handled Lab 1 in both pre and post switch to actually using the Hollow Palm Technique, which, if I bring up the passive pretty quickly, just to get it quickly slotted in, I've basically slotted it straight in the large tool socket, and that's Hollow Palm Technique. Counters dual wielding when you're unencumbered, 40% more attack speed when you're unencumbered, deal 14 to 20 physical damage adds to 14 to 20 attack physical damage to melee skills for 10 dexterity if you're unencumbered. And the build's currently sitting at 400 dexterity, so that's pretty much where a lot of that damage is coming from. That's why it was really good in the damage department. Yeah, so it's implying... Oh, there it goes, finally loading in. Yeah, supposedly we're doing 600 something, 700-ish damage. I think that's per hit, so I think that rounds up to like 1,000 or something, probably with the attack speed. Yeah, very useful build at this point in leveling. Interested to see how this keeps up as we continue to level it. And this is where I'm going to end the stream. The next stream will probably be us running Act 4 on this build. I probably won't swap back to the bow build because the Cyclone's working. And I think the Cyclone right now still has more single target damage than the Toxic Rain does. So I think for the rest of the leveling, until I get a hold of a Frenzy of Onslaught, we'll just use Cyclone, it'll be fine. And if I start to have struggle against single target damage, then I know I need to figure out how to get that Onslaught, Frenzy of Onslaught going. But until then, I think the build should function well. Catch you all next time.